discusses the presentation and debugging of controversial topics and beliefs. Some or all of the topics discussed may be emotionally triggering or otherwise upsetting. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening, everybody. I am Lord Falconis, and this is World of Woocraft, the premiere YouTube edition. That is right. This is our first premiere on YouTube. Normally, we stream World of Woocraft on Twitch, but I've decided that, you know what? Maybe things should be a little different. I mean, given apparently that I now have double the amount of subscribers that I have on Twitch, I have here on YouTube, I figure I may as well cater to some people up here. So that is exactly what we are going to do. I don't know why this is all the way up here, but we can fix that. I expect there are going to be numerous glitches as I go through this journey with you all. So let's bring this down here for a second. All right. So some context for those of you who have just joined us who are not on Twitch. A couple weeks ago, I attended a magical, happy little thing called the Conscious Life Expo. What is the Conscious Life Expo, you might say? Well, it's basically an expo where the wooiest of the woo all get together to, well, talk about woo. So, just so we're keeping it a little bit with protocol here, I'm not gonna go ahead. You can see the VOD on Twitch, but and I might or may not upload it to YouTube. I'm not entirely certain yet. But what I can do is I can give you a quick whirlwind tour of what I saw over at Conscious Life Expo. I'll make it pretty quick. I will make it as quick as I can though, because I want to actually get to the Starseed panel proper. So let me start with the kind of stuff that you would expect to see at this conference. So here's one fine example of ridiculous woo. This is from a company called the Sedona Quantum Consciousness. They call this thing the Tesla Experience. It's called a biocharger. Audio bitrate seems higher than normal. Weird. I mean, I'm coming in okay, right? There's nothing odd or anything. My 4 inches of snow is drifting up to the 1. The wind is bad. Yeah, I got a feeling it's going to be bad here in LA too, but yeah. Anyway, this biocharger, what does it do? Well, according to the description, it combines the power of transformative tech, heart-based meditation, and the quantum field to amplify energy, vibrations, and intentions. If you don't have any idea what that means, that's okay, neither do I. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to fill your head up with quantum flapdoodle, as Carl Sagan would call it, to try to make it sound like it's some sort of like mystical, powerful thing, when really, from the looks of it, all it is either a glorified heater or a miniature Tesla coil. And a Tesla coil itself is literally nothing other than just a way to make electricity dance. So, does the biocharger work on my phone? You would have to ask Sedona Quantum Consciousness. I don't think I can answer that question for you. But knowing them, I'm sure they'll come up with some bullshit reason as to say why yes, it would totally work, even though it probably fucking won't. All right. Let's see here. Next item up for bids. Why does it keep going up to this? I don't want you showing up just yet. Let's see here. The next thing I want to show you is, now for those of you, some of you who have seen my stream last week probably know about this already, but For those of you who are joining us for the first time, I'm going to introduce you to a magical little thing called the Buddha Maitreya Pyramid. So this is the pyramid. I'm not quite sure what it's made of. There was someone on Twitter that said that this was likely made from aluminum and copper. I personally think that it was made from PVC, but the real problem here isn't the materials that was used to construct it. The real problem with this thing is the price. So I'm gonna go ahead and take your guesses in chat. Let's see here. Tesla coils are deadly Soviet defense towers. Okay, yeah. Let's get the red alert references out of the stream. But yes, how much do you think this pyramid cost? If you would say $500, you would be way off. $1,000, still way off. $2,000, you're still off. 4,000, a little closer, but still far. 5,000, you're almost there. 7,000, closer. Yeah, this pyramid was a cool $10,000. You could buy this thing for 10 grand, and they were not joking. However, it was on sale for Conscious Life Expo. You could walk away with that pyramid for the low price of $8,000. When I read that price, it took everything in me to not laugh. In fact, the goal of Conscious Life Expo was to not laugh at anything, because that would have A, identified me right away as a skeptic, and B, probably gotten me kicked the fuck out. I don't know why this thing keeps showing. I am done with you showing. You can fuck off right now. I'm not done. I'm done with you right now. Give me 10 minutes and $5 and take me to Lowe's. I could make you one. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know what material they use, but I don't. Did anyone buy one? I would be exceptionally worried for anyone that dared buy one. Like, oh my god. And I'm just going to go through the list here to see what else did we show. Okay, well, I can show you a little clip of something that I recorded. So this is one such bit of woo that they had at Conscious Life Expo. We'll put it up real quick. It's vertical because I was recording from my cell phone. Why aren't you running? That's weird. Okay, well, it seems that this is glitched, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that really quick. See if we can't try that again. All right, I got it working. All right, so let me go ahead and put that up. I have to remember to use VLC instead of Earth and View. Put this in here. So I have the slightest clue what this is. I imagine it has something to do with Reiki, though. So we'll go down this road. Yeah, so what that guy was doing was giving what's called a sound bath. And they were doing it on the guy's back. Why? Probably to raise the guy's vibrational frequencies. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, next up for the biz before I only want to do a couple more before we actually go to the panel to the actual panel proper. Oh yes, this piece of shit. Okay. I also have to remember to not swear so much on YouTube because YouTube frowns on swearing for some reason. This is the Degeti Master Key. The Degeti Master Key is based on Degeti culture. It is designed to do all sorts of things, such as raise your vibrational frequency. That's also a common thing. Help you connect with aliens, all sorts of things. It's basically a panacea and all that stuff. Take a guess at how much this thing is. And I don't know what material it's made from. It looks like it looked and felt like brass, but who the heck knows? Yes, the master key, you know what plug. That's what we're calling it. Although I think it's too small to. I think it might be too small to effectively block anything in the orifice, but yeah, this little tiny thing retails for $100, and I'm not joking. That is how much they wanted for it. $100 for something that could probably have been machined together, mass produced. Conscious Life Expo, there were a lot of frickin' grifters there. Another person went, and that particular person identified all of the QAnoners there, but for me, it was mostly looking and seeing all of the people who were grifting, like Sonoma Conscious, the Degeti people, and Buddha Maitreya with their $10,000 pyramid. Yeah, vomits. Any more? Oh yeah, here we go. I can also show you the mini brochure that they gave that I picked up from the Degeti people, saying exactly what it does. And that is what it does right here. Oh, come on. Give me... There we go. So, something about photons, something about DNA repair, which would be impossible with the little brass thing. Intracellular communication. Your bodies are more than capable of doing that without this stupid thing. Big resonance and ions. And the key to more energy and balance in your life. Citation needed for all of that. But I imagine that they've got nothing. No clinical research, no evidence, nothing beyond anything anecdotal, because that's just the way Woo typically works. I'm not seeing helping achieving redacted on there. Yeah. Also helps the you know what grow. Well, I'm sure they could claim that as a reason, but they didn't list that on there. And there was some stuff that then let me see if there's something I could play as well. Let's see. I don't want to go too far into it because oh yeah, I do want to show you for those of you who saw my stream last week on Twitch, the man who was speaking, whose name I forget because he used two different names. I completely forgot to show the video I took of what he looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and play a video of what he looks like. And so that way you have that as well. Like 8 years. So I'll play that. So for context, this man, who I believe his name is Jonah, he came to the Conscious Life Expo to do a lecture on a concept that I'm trying to research called 010110, which is a hashtag binary code that New Agers have been using to ascend to enlightenment and things like that. And to make a long story short, because I have to make it short with this guy, this motherfucker went on the longest frickin' tangent about anything. Maybe like 5% of his 40-minute long spiel actually covered 010110. The rest of his context discussed things such as his own like spirituality, breaking out of the matrix, being a brotherhood, you know, typical new age stuff like that, talking a bit more about his culture and things like that, and absolutely nothing to do, for the most part, with 010010. Which is a binary code to exit the simulation. There's numeric codes that you can repeat that basically can help you manifest things. This one is to exit the simulation and yeah, he believes 010010, and I'm glad I think I have that finally memorized now. It took me about a couple years. Is something to exit the Matrix, and the Matrix, according to him, is heaven. He was just incredible. He was just all over the frickin' place. They found the code. They started it on TikTok. Basically it created a movement that, again, it's over 130 million hits on TikTok, but you enter it in every search bar. You can, if you just search it, it's going to lead you to a place of a digital path that's going to help you start your awakening for new people. Well, yeah, I imagine if a bunch of people dump a whole bunch of bullshit into something and tag it all with a hashtag, it's all going to lead to some sort of organization. That's how hashtags work.
Yes. One off the top of my mind is
Oh, you're going to love this.
2137. If you say the code 2137 45 times before you go to bed, you will remember your dreams.
2137. And you say that 45 times, you will remember your dreams. All I gotta do to remember my dreams is take 5 milligrams of melatonin. That'll get me remembering my dreams. It'll probably get me remembering all. It'll send me into the world of H.P. Lovecraft as well from my dreams. But hey, I'll remember my dreams.
2137, you will, if you took code to remember dreams.
I've been seeing 222 everywhere lately, the last 2 days.
With angel numbers, I call them algorithms. They're just reminders. They're all telling you you're on the right path, but everything means something to you individually.
Angel numbers are essentially numbers that repeat and something that you start seeing, and your brain starts to think that there's a pattern. You start looking for them, and you essentially start creating a confirmation bias. What this guy was talking about was like you would notice certain numbers. He mentions a website called Gematrix or Gematria, where you can go and you can enter pretty much whatever the heck you wanted, and it would give you 3 different numbers based on different gematrias, which are, I forget the definition of it, but essentially they're sacred numbers in some New Age circles. So if you look at it, I'll put the website up in the chat, just so y'all have it. Let's see here. It's real fun, I promise, if you're into this kind of thing. There we go. So it's now it's there. It's right there now. It's gematrix.org. You can use it to type whatever the heck you want. When we were streaming on Twitch last week, we found that somebody had entered Kent Hovind. So I don't know what significance any of his numbers were, but maybe they mean something significant to him. I don't know. But yeah, so that was the gist of Conscious Life Expo. And now we're going to progress to what I like to call to the meat and potatoes of tonight's stream. The crowning glory of tonight is a panel that I took on a last-minute basis called the Starseed panel. The Starseed panel was essentially a group of 7 women that were led by one facilitator, and they all discussed what it was like to, well, be a starseed in this world. What is a starseed? You tell me. A starseed is essentially a person that believes that they are the soul of an alien. The aliens can take on multiple forms. For example, they could be Arcturian, they could be Pleiadian, they could be reptilian, they could be something that looks like a praying mantis, they could even be feline-ish, because apparently I don't want to call it anthropomorphizing, where it's like maybe like humanizing or something like that. I don't really understand what they do. So I'm going to go ahead and put up the photo that seems to want to keep popping up, because now it's time to shine. These were our Starseed candidates. And the one thing was that Christine Augustine, who was the person supposed to moderate this, I don't know what happened to her, but she was not the facilitator for this panel. However, all of the other 7 Starseeds did make an appearance, and we will discuss them as we go on. They are Lyra Ray, Cher Jolene, Blue, Sarah Adams, who I learned was a piece of shit, and we'll find out why, Jamie Voslov, Elizabeth April, and this last person. Her name she's listed on here as Stargirl, but she recently changed her name because I guess it didn't align with her frequencies, and now she's known as Anita Cyrene. Anita Cyrene has already been covered on my stream. And we're going to bring her up again real quickly when the time comes, because she said some pretty stupid things in one of her videos. And she's going to say some pretty stupid things on the Starseed panel. So with the Starseed panel, I wasn't able to film the entire thing because I would have completely run out of battery if I had. But I did manage to make a recording of it, and I had a computer make a pretty shoddy version of make a pretty shoddy version of a transcript. So let me go ahead and put the transcript up right now. This should not take too long. Where is that note, that thing? Where is that? Let's see. You know what? I'll just use you. All right, so this is the transcript. We're going to put it up in here so that we can all see it. And then I will start playing the Starseed panel. So this is a Starseed panel. We're not going to get through the entire thing tonight because it was about 2 hours long, and I imagine I'm maybe going to get through about an hour of it before I have to call it. So, but we're going to get through as much of it as we can. So let's get through it.
So this is really cutting edge. I'm Alan Steinfeld. I'm the author of this book, Making Contact. And
so right out of the gate, we got a guy in here. His name is Alan Steinfeld, or Steinberg. I forget. Oh, I should probably have gotten his name. But I've got a photo of him somewhere. Where did I get him from? Anyway, so Alan Steinberg is big in the UFO fields, and he was the one that decided to facilitate all of this because I guess Christine had flaked out or something like that. So he's starting this show up. Turn up their audio up. We can't hear them. Okay, I will turn this up. I have to remember since I play Fortnite, and for some reason that thing eats volume like Garfield eats lasagna, so I have to turn it up. But anyway, let's do this.
someone's read it. Anyway, we're going beyond contact. This is really taking us, this is really what an expo like this is about. What is the next level of consciousness? And these very beautiful, lovely, interdimensional women are here to take us to that next.
Full disclosure, by the way, since this was written by an AI, the transcription is not accurate, but just keep that in mind.
Level. So I am really excited. I don't know about you, but I'm really excited because I'm up here on the stage with these people. So let me introduce you to the cast here. And I just think we're at the threshold of a new time.
This is a thing with New Agers. They always think that they're at the cusp of a new time or a new experience, that the Great Awakening is literally around the corner. Those of you who are of the who come here from the Christian world, y'all might find that a little bit familiar if you get my drift. It's pretty interesting once you start finding all the similarities between Christianity and New Ageism.
And the people here have accessed this other realm. And this is about a transmission. It's about opening up our minds to these greater realities. I call my program on YouTube New Realities. And how are we going to get there if we're just talking about the same old thing? If we get stuck in this cycle, we need new people, and it's usually women that are coming forward to say, no, we're here to create something different than what's gone before. So
one of the few things that I think is admirable about New Age culture is a good chunk of the spiritual leaders are women. Now, granted, that unfortunately includes such wonderful people as Elf Lady and Teal Swan, but I do have to give credit where credit is due. You're not going to get that kind of shit in Christianity, unfortunately. Well, you could, but not among the evangelicals that we all know and loathe.
We are about to access more of our minds. We're about more of our human potential. This is what these people here have already gone into that level, and hopefully we'll
every one of the girls that he's going to describe claims to have been a starseed.
Transmit to some of us. At least I hope they transmit it to me. So thank you. So I'll introduce people, and then I'll introduce you, but then you can say a little bit more about what you want to share today and where you're from. So this is Lyra Ra at the end. Lyra Ray. And they always have that kind of silver hair on Lyra. So what else do you want to share about your journey here?
Okay, so let me go ahead and add a little bit of context as to Lyra Ray really quickly. Let me go ahead and pull up a picture of her. So I will pull that up for you all so you can understand just exactly what he's talking about. So this is Lyra Ray. From what I've gathered so far, she hails from Las Vegas. And before you ask, yes, the white hair is indeed a wig. So she has this wig, and she's here on the farthest left end of the Starseed panel. So she's going to talk a little bit about herself. She's also got this weird virtual reality thing going on about being a Starseed and being an alien and things like that. She has a YouTube series and her YouTube series and her handle is called the Princess of Pleiades. So if you want to check it out, go ahead. She's actually gotten a bit more high risk in the few amount of times that I've known about her, because it seems like she might be getting ready to shake things up and start changing things around. So I've gone ahead and made sure that any of her content that she's done, I've taken care of it. So this is Lyra Ray. So Lyra Ray is going to go ahead and explain a little bit about herself to the audience now.
Hi guys, I'm Lyra. I specialize in working with Starseeds. I'm a Starseed mentor, multidimensional healer.
She charges for that, by the way.
And now creator of Pleiades World VR.
Thank you.
So that is our first Starseed. And then he's going to go to the next one over.
Jamie Voss Love, and she is an Andromedan. You're connected to the Andromedans, but you're also bringing.
You can't hear her? Okay, let me put the thing up on max now.
What is awakening for human beings? You want to talk about that a little bit? What is awakening?
Okay, so the next person that he's bringing up is Jamie Voss Love. So let me pull up that one. This is Jamie Voss Love. Jamie Voss Love also acts as kind of as a person who is a Starseed tutor and a Starseed coach. She's also an energy coach, and I believe at some point she also did Reiki. So she also markets herself as a coach where people pay her, and she, like a lot of New Agers and energy coaches, pretends to basically be a therapist. So this is Jamie Voss Love right now. So let's see what Jamie has to say.
Just briefly and introduce yourself a little more.
Sure. Jamie Voss Love. I also am a Starseed mentor, multidimensional healer. Work closely with the Andromedans, and so today I'll be...
Andromedans, that's another one. Yes, the Andromedans, which I might add, is that assuming the Andromeda galaxy has life in it, which is possible, I will readily admit, you're literally describing the entirety of a galaxy as Andromedans. That's nuts to me. Like, even that would be like calling Earthlings Milky Wayers. Like, let's assume that there's other alien civilizations out there. I imagine that they're not going to take too kindly with humans being called Milky Wayers. I mean, the concepts are all going to probably be different because it's aliens and bullshit, but I think the concept's the same. The words might be different.
Talking a little bit about some of that technology that really helps all Starseeds that we're going through. And
so they'll mention Starseed technology a lot. What they mean by Starseed technology is basically, for lack of a better way of saying it, thoughts and prayers. That's all it is. Starseed technology is just meditation to enhance your vibrational frequencies, which again is thoughts and prayers.
It involves something called the fourth eye technology, which some of you may have heard from and or heard about. And so I'll go a little bit deeper into it, but we're going to talk about how that technology can help us, what that entails, and how we have to really ground into the body, which is a challenge, of course, for some Starseeds because we like to be elsewhere at the same time. So, yes.
You mean people like to be in different places? Yeah, I mean, I like to be in different places between. I personally, I very much would enjoy being in different places from Monday to Friday between the hours of 9 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. if you get my drift. So you're not much different from us, sweetie.
And sitting in, sir, is my good friend Sarah Adams. Well,
Oh boy, here we go. Sarah Adams. This one is a doozy. All right, so let me go ahead and bring up Sarah really quickly. I'm only bringing this up because I do not think we're going to get to it in this stream, but I do want to bring it up anyway. Sarah had the honor of allowing me to bear witness to my first in-person attempt at communing in light language. And you might be wondering, what exactly is light language? Well, those of you from Christianity, especially those of you of the evangelical persuasion, you might find this a little. Whoa, what's this? Hang on a second. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, I have the totally wrong one up. Give me 1 second. I will get the proper one up and running. Where did I stick it? Let's see here. I love how everything just disappears the moment I need it, you know? Is this it?
With a straight spine and an open heart, and let's just...
Nope, that is not it. Where the hell did it go? Is that it? No. I thought I downloaded it, but I don't know where it went. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. Okay, so you know what? We'll get back to Sarah Adams in a sec. We'll get back to that in a second as soon as I can find it. Let me go ahead and give you what Sarah looks like really quickly, and that is, hang on. I really need to be more organized at this stuff. Okay, tell you what, let me get right back to this. I'll be right back. I can't find it just yet, so we'll just have to deal with it as we go along. All right. So let's go ahead and continue on with the panel.
Welcome, Sarah. Thank you for being here. Sarah's one of the first star people I've ever met, and she is bringing in through like new ways of perception, new ways of understanding.
Sarah Adams is a Starseeder, and she believes in all of the conspiracies. So, in particular, just from following her on Instagram, I learned right away that she was an anti-vaxxer. So that already says worlds about her. And I may as well just do it and just set this up anyway. Let me see where you know what? I know exactly where to look for it. I'll look for it in the original storage. Let's see here. All right. This is Starseed Sarah Adams at Stonehenge. She's at Stonehenge, which of course is a sacred site in England. It's been there for many years. And so Sarah Adams, being the little starseed that she is, decided that she would go and pay respects to it. Let me go ahead and I have to shrink this up really quickly. I use the term respect in quotes. Why? Well, you're about to find out. All right, so also for context, you'll notice there's a rope behind her. That rope is there to keep tourists away from Stonehenge because the constant trotting around on the grounds is actually doing damage to the ground around it, which could further damage the structures around it. So keep that in mind when we play this.
Okay. Sir, stop filming now. Calling the police.
So let me give you the entire 411 of everything that just happened in that. She had a friend of hers go up to the security guards that were present at Stonehenge to distract them. And when they were sufficiently distracted, she jumped the rope. And she made a dash for the rocks and proceeded to put her hands all over everything, which you are very much forbidden from doing at Stonehenge because the oils in your hands could further damage the rocks. So once the guards realized what was going on, they started getting pissed. They told her other friend to stop filming, and they went and chased her down. And I would assume that they caught her. And they ended up escorting her off the premises, threatening legal action. I do not believe that she ever got arrested for what she did, but she was damn near threatened to it. And I got a funny feeling she might have been banished from the property, which rightfully so. I mean, she could have caused an international incident. The owners of Stonehenge are the freaking British royal family. Imagine if she had actually caused some sort of damage at Stonehenge. That would have been insane. It really would have been an international incident. And all just because she wanted to feel the stones and, according to her frickin' TikTok, receive some downloads. Fucking nerve at all. I have a feeling she does not care. Nope, I can't say that she cares. I don't think she cares either. Because at the end of the day, she's selfish. She's a conspiracy theorist. And I'm willing to register that she ain't exactly the brightest bulb in wherever the fuck she lives.
We are supposed to be here as human beings. You want to say more about your understanding of this dimension?
Hi, I'm Sarah Adams, and I worked with many ETs and light beings. And the ETs and light beings are teaching me how each organ, each cell, and every part of the body can be lit up when we.
So what she's saying is that the ETs, the aliens, because I don't imagine that they're all looking like ET from Universal Studios going, ah, because they're all teaching her how to do different things with her body. Because as we all know, aliens that are not humans totally understand literally everything about the human body, apparently. Let's see here. Yeah, so there's where we are now. So here we go. Oh,
Speak to it.
there we go.
We are the divine souls within this physical body. This physical body is ancient technology. And currently the problem with the world is that people, they're walking around and they don't know how this technology works. So the ETs have been giving me a lot of information on how to light the body up and unite it with the soul, so the two.
Well, apparently that doesn't include manners and being respectful of places where you're at.
Become one.
To my left is Blue. She is the host of Deja Blue podcast.
Okay, so this is another Starseed who goes as Blue. Let me see if I can pull her up as well. Blue is the next person. So it was two different tables, and one of them was, and on one end was Sarah Adams, Lana Ray, and Jamie Voss Love, and the other side was Blue, Elizabeth Adams, and Anita Cyrene. So if you get that visual going on right there, let me see if I can't find a picture of Blue really quickly. I should have one of her. I'll look for it later. All right. So this is all right. So while we're looking for it, let's listen to what Blue has to say. Apparently, Blue is very popular.
Founder of Fluorescence, Modern Mystery School for Women. That's great. And a motivational speaker, artist, and musician. And I'm really interested in what you tap into and what does blue mean to you?
Hello, everybody. What blue means to me, it represents beauty, love, and unity. And I believe that we all have it inside of our core beings. It doesn't matter where we claim to be from, recognizing that we're all citizens of the earth and recognizing that we have everything.
Really? I thought we were all aliens incarnated on Earth. How could we be citizens of the Earth?
We need inside of us. And it's just about giving ourselves permission to access it. And just recognizing that also when we're around people that give us themselves permission to fully activate all aspects of themselves, we pass that on. And so my mission in this life is to embody the highest frequency through play and to tap back into the genius of a child and remember that our greatest manifestation ability is bedded.
New Agers have a unusual fixation with the inner child, like going back to being a kid, having all of that. And I don't know exactly why it's like that. Maybe they decided to plagiarize Sigmund Freud or something back in the day or something like that, but it's just kind of weird. I even remember long ago Teal Swan having a kind of workshop where that like dealt with the different elements and things like that. And one of the activities that she had people do was she took them to this huge ass warehouse. It was filled with bouncy houses and sandboxes and ball pits and all that, and she just let people play in them. Why? I have no fucking idea.
Embedded in our ability to play, and we can only create as far as our imagination is willing to go. And so I build a life around creating beauty, love, and unity so that others can remember their own divinity.
That's why we're here, so we can create that. And of course there's Elizabeth April, who's actually, she not only is a star.
So this is Elizabeth April. This I know I have a picture of. I'll put her up right now. This is Elizabeth April, and to the left of her slightly, you can see a little bit of Blue. Still looking for that. Blue had the funkiest jacket. It was like this weird fur-like jacket with rose around it. It was really cool. And this is Elizabeth April trying to look like some sort of Buddhist monk, probably. I don't know. That's kind of, I think, the approach that she was going for. And Elizabeth April is yet another person who believes that she is a starseed, and she does starseed consultations and things like that. And I tried to follow her on Instagram, and the moment that I did, I got no less than 3 freaking scammers trying to pretend that they were Elizabeth April, following me and DMing me. And it got to the point where, like, Instagram was not doing jack about it. I had to unfollow her so I would stop getting all sorts of crazy DMs and follows from scammers pretending to be this scammer. Blue is best dressed for sure. I would go with that road. I'd agree with that one. So, but that is Elizabeth April. So we'll let Elizabeth talk for a little while.
She's bringing through other star seeds right through her body.
Context, she's pregnant.
Is that okay? Oh, did I share too much? Oh, it's okay. Right there, that's what I need to get. I mean, physically, embodiment. But she's also a galactic channel, Galactic Federation of Light, and she's
Galactic Federation of Light, something that I kept seeing all over Conscious Life Expo, is a group of people that think that they are starseeds and aliens. From what I'm gathering, it looks like a legitimate New Age cult. I don't know too much about it just yet, but being as I seem to have now become the New Age expert in the atheist community, it is now my obligation to go look into it. So we'll have more on that content in this coming year, I'm sure.
Really a prophetess of the New Age, I feel, and really bringing through this living the higher consciousness. So, anything else you'd like to share? Oh, so much.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just so excited to be here and hold space for all of the beautiful other starseeds that are here, not just in the audience, but on the panel. And I'm just so excited because this kind of community, this space, this time, this weekend is bringing together these energies. We're planting the seeds of the new Earth frequency, and in so many ways we are...
Star Trek is less fun than I expected. These people are so far from Star Trek that it would be impossible. These are the people that if they made an appearance somewhere, they would get blown up by the Klingons. And they would consider it a favor to the United Federation of Planets, and as it was bringing a dishonor to humanity.
Out of the curve. So this is what the future is going to look like. And
no, I hope to God it doesn't.
I really just, prompt all of you to be really present this weekend. Understand that no matter where you...
Just for added context, there's going to be a few bumps and slides around because there were people trying to get in and out of the seat that I was at, and it was really, really packed in. So I had to move the phone around that I was recording it with around, so I apologize in advance for that.
And it could be a weird conversation in the bathroom or bumping into someone in the hallway. It's all divine. It's all aligned.
And they all want your money, I'm sure.
And it's all here for you to activate your highest frequency. So thank you all for showing up, for everyone who's here, for the new Earth, and especially for yourselves.
Yes, yes, yes. And then we have Cher Jolene.
No, sir, that is not how you say my name.
Yeah, he screwed up on that one. And I'm going to go ahead and lay off of the references to the song because even that could risk me getting DMCA'd. So I'm not going to go ahead and bring that up. But that is Cher Jolene, and that is a picture that needs to leave. This is Cher Jolene, and she's just yet another New Ager. Stargirl's next.
I thought we rehearsed this. Okay.
Names carry so much vibration.
I know, and you have a couple of them.
And so. Ray and Ra are very different, right?
Oh, so what's your
Jolene
name?
and Jolene is
Jolene. Cher Jolene.
Cher Jolene.
So this is Cher Jolene, by the way.
And while I'm at it, I'll go ahead and
please.
I'll go for it. Because my second one, I have two names that I'm straddling. My second given name is Hadar.
And that's what happens when you're multidimensional. You
This
name
is
in a different
right.
dimension.
The frequency
don't you?
matters.
Yes.
Undulation matters. It's so
Yes.
much about light language too.
But also tell us about your metaphysical meditations and ancient temple work.
Oh, heaven, yes. Ancient temples, ancient future wisdom. As we've already said, it's all available to us in the body, the technology of spirit. And really my work is I combine Kundalini through the Raj teachings of Kundalini Yoga in a modern way with the technology of prayer. I am the most passionate about prayer. People say, what do you mean? Do you workshop on the tech?
Yeah, you heard her. The technology of prayer. Whenever a Christian prays, they're using prayer technology. Fricking Ty Locke, when she gets on her little stage and does her tirade on Greg Locke's Tent to Pleasures, she's using prayer technology. When Greg Locke gets up on there, acting like he's on meth, and he says, Lord Jesus Christ, I hope we have a great one here in the Tent of Pleasures. I'm going to get all of you up having in here, and I'm going to dunk y'all into the bathtub. He's using prayer technology, according to this person. Prayer technology. I'm sure Caltech would absolutely love to learn about it.
Technology of prayer, because as multidimensional artists that have the sovereign ability to create and choose, we, with our vibration, with our frequency, with our intention, with our electromagnetic field, when it's aligned in that way and we're speaking truly, we're molding, we're collapsing particles. So that's what I do. Metaphysical meditation.
Metaphysical meditation. That sounds like a whole bunch of quantum flapdoodle. Yes, he's a closet Methodist. We made that joke a lot. you don't have to remind me. I too follow Telltale Atheist. I do kind of sort of mod for him. But yeah, you gotta love good old Gurglug. He is a class act. I want to cover him again at some point, but I think I've got plenty of content to go after with Conscious Life Expo. That it's just gonna be great. But yeah, Greg Locke. Yeah, there's never a dull moment with Greg Locke. He's a horror. I don't know if he's a horrible person or if he's just been horribly misguided, but he is definitely fucking entertaining to me.
I like it.
Everybody
Yes.
aboard the ship that we're on right now, and inviting all of our star friends to be here with us.
They are coming.
They are here.
Coming. This is the crew that's leading them in there. Thank you. And at the end there,
Stargirl's also pretty popular.
Anita Serene. Yeah. Thank you for being here, formerly known as, can I say Stargirl? Okay, we'll forget that.
So let me bring her up really quickly. This is Stargirl. Let me pull her up. If I don't pull her up on here, if I don't have a video, and I'm pretty certain I took a picture of her. If I don't have a picture of her, I know exactly where to go to get a picture of her. Where did I stick that picture of her? Is that it? Will that work? Yeah, that'll work. All right. So let me show you a picture of Cher Jolene and Stargirl. The person on the right here, that is Stargirl, or Anita Cyrene, as she wants to be called now. So Anita Cyrene is a New Ager, obviously, and a Starseed, and she is a major league shill of the law of attraction. So before we go any further, I'm going to go ahead and put a stop right here. I am going to play for y'all a clip of her that we pulled from a couple weeks ago prior to the expo, where she's going to talk about being deliriously positive, but also it's not but also that she also isn't about toxic positivity. So let me pull that up for y'all. Where is that VLC media player thing? There it is.
What I want to tell you is this.
We'll play that for you just so you can see the kind of person Anita Cyrene is.
This is not about toxic positivity. This is about knowing when you need to be like, okay, I've been depressed for too long. And you know you've been depressed for too long when you are getting antsy. You're like, I want my life to change. I am ready for love. I am ready for good things to start happening. So it's time to start learning how to generate happy emotions that will manifest its vibrational match of blessings, because your emotions are a gauge of your vibration.
Wow, that's all it took? I am truly amazed. Wow. Thanks, Anita Cyrene. I'm cured. I'll play one more video for her and then we will continue back to the panel.
And with the law of attraction,
get up there. Yeah, so she's big on the law of attraction as well. So just keep that in mind.
you don't manifest what you desire. I wish we
Really? Because I thought it pretty much was that we set an intention and we manifested
what we desired, and that's it. With the law of attraction, you manifest what you are, which is your vibration, and your emotions.
So if I'm an alligator, did I manifest being an alligator?
Are a perfect gauge to show you what your current vibration is, and you will attract things and people to you that match that vibration. So if you notice you're attracting, friends that are pessimistic, they're always down on their luck, they're always struggling,
then you would be around people who are victims of capitalism and not around a bunch of stuck-up, rich, manipulative dumb fucks that just work to exploit other people. But go on, sorry.
I want to tell you that your reality and the people around you are a mirror of your current vibrational state, and you will attract to you things that vibrate at where you're at. So let's say you want empowered people, you want happy people, you want successful people around you. You want a certain type of lover that.
So what she's essentially trying to say is, and she's going to literally say it at some point, is you have to gaslight yourself into being happy.
successful and confident and all of this great stuff, then you have to become that yourself, because like attracts like. So
No, that is not how it works. That is not how it works anywhere in the universe. Opposite attracts opposite, pretty much always. A north-sided magnet attracts a south-sided magnet. Bigger things with larger mass attract smaller things with mass. They attract opposites. In no fucking way in the universe does like attract like, even when you apply your ridiculous little law of attraction that you consider a natural law. Those of you who are here for Telltale Stream today, he was talking about prosperity gospel, and how it is a universal law. The law of attraction is essentially the exact same thing, except it's New Age in origin, but it's also considered a universal law.
The key to attracting those better people, those better jobs, the better life is simply by raising your emotional state, not based on what's going on in your outward circumstance, but being delusionally happy and optimistic.
Delusionally being happy and optimistic. Delusionally being happy and optimistic. That's kind of funny, coming from the person who said that she was not advocating toxic positivity. Because what she literally just described there is fucking toxic positivity. And she's trying to claim it isn't. It's like, oh no, I'm totally not selling toxic positivity, but I'm totally selling toxic positivity. That's what's going on here.
I'll give you an example. I hate going to the nail salon. I'm always dreading it. I'm like, oh, my back is going to hurt. I just want it to be over so I can get my nails done, you know? And then I was like, you know what? This manifests as a shitty experience. I'm just going to be like,
well, I mean, if you have a shitty experience, it's a shitty experience. You just have to accept it, not try to put a spin on it into something that it's not. Stop looking for nuggets of gold in a sea of shit and trying to pretend to yourself that the sea is made of gold.
I'm so excited to get my nails done. It's going to be awesome. They're going to give me a nice massage. It's going to be a good time to get pampered. And of course, you don't believe it. But how many of you have let boys or girls gaslight you? And you,
much like you're trying to gaslight us now,
happily believed their shit. It's time to start gaslighting yourself in a positive way. And
that's still gaslighting, and it's still negative.
First, you're going to be like, I'm lying to myself. This positivity is full of shit.
Which it is.
But eventually, when you tell yourself this lie enough, you actually start to believe it. So I'll give you an example. I can
tell you right now, no amount of that is going to work, especially if you have clinical depression. I tried that years ago. I used to struggle with the law of attraction. I would try to be positive, and I was trying to be more and more positive about my situation in grad school, even though everything was fucking collapsing around me. I knew I always had problems with negativity, as other people who I later realized had their heads up their ass would constantly tell me, but I was struggling. I was always trying to be positive. And then in the end, everything still failed. The funny thing is, I'm probably more positive now than I was when I was in my early 20s, but I still think that people like Anita Cyrene are full of fucking shit.
Real issue with...
Is she for real? Unfortunately, yes, BB.
Well, I did, and this is vulnerable. None of you use this against me in the comments, okay?
I won't use them in your comments, because I know you'll just delete them. But I'll definitely use it against you here, bitch.
But I do have a problem with binge eating sometimes, or emotionally eating, to the point where it's not about, eating good. It's just like stuffing my feelings down and just getting too excited over food. So I started lying to myself every day for 30 days. And I started saying to myself,
because 30 days is a magical number to people. And it's not just specifically with New Agers. When you go into the program, the 12-step program, be it Alcoholics Anonymous or Overeaters Anonymous or wherever unfortunate hell you end up, they try to tell you to go to 30 meetings in 30 days because apparently that somehow magically turns you into yet another cult member of Alcoholics Anonymous or wherever.
Food doesn't excite me that much. Food's kind of boring. Not really that interested.
I mean, I got to give props to her for that because that's something that I personally struggle with, but I've kind of got a feeling that there's something else going on there that she doesn't want to talk about in all this.
And of course, like that,
I do know that she likes to take a hit of the greed plant, though, as she will admit in the panel.
I was saying these things to myself while I'm like salivating for crumble cookies and pizza, and I'm like, this is such bullshit. I'm like, all I want to do is eat a whole box of crumble, right? But eventually, the consistency of thinking that thought, food's not that exciting to me. I don't get that excited over food.
Yeah, and for some people, that actually does work, and props to them, but for a lot of people, it doesn't. But for those people, I'm sure they just, quote unquote, didn't try hard enough. It didn't try hard enough, because as we know, all it takes is a little bit of hard work, and you can totally do everything. And again, anybody that is unable to follow that path, they're just weak and can't do it. Anyway, that is enough of that. If we did that, we would be stuck with Cyrene for the remainder of the panel, and we want to get to the rest of the rest of this garbage. So I'm going to go ahead and take this photo off as soon as I remember where I stuck it. I've got way too much crap here in my sources section, and let's get back to the actual thing proper.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. But you are an expert in the arts of astrology and numerology, mediumship, and all the other higher activities of, I wouldn't say a cult, but it's more than, it's out there. It's no longer a cult, it's out there. It's not hidden anymore.
Yeah, that shit hasn't been hidden it hasn't really been hidden at all. It just exploded in the mid 2000s with the advent of YouTube.
It's our skill. Talk more about what you do.
I've been a psychic medium for 5 years, and I just read the hidden symbols of the universe and can make predictions as long as God will let me see it. So yeah.
It's kind of funny. A couple of people at CLE brought up God, and I assume by God they mean the Abrahamic God, because there can't really be any other God unless they start referring to more to the polytheistic gods. Like, I do know that there are some New Agers out there that believe in Odin, Thor, Zeus, and all of that as well, but she specifically names a singular God, which implies that it's the Abrahamic God. So that was kind of weird to me.
Good. Thank you for being here, too. I'll start with Miss Blue here. And just a question, like, so what are these, as we move dimensionally, and most everyone here is activated, what are the new gifts that are coming to us as human beings as a next level of fifth dimensional union?
That says a whole bunch of fucking mouthful. The fifth dimension is something that is a big buzzword in New Age discussions. What it means to the New Agers, it means enlightenment, it means heaven, it means whatever the fuck. In the scientific community, it means bupkis. I mean, my thought is that the closest thing that could be seen as the fifth dimension is traversion between space and time, but also multiple universes as well. But I'm not a physicist. I'm not going to claim that I have any knowledge on what a proper fifth dimension actually is.
All right, go straight with the deep question.
Jump into it.
Yeah, Alan asked some pretty poignant questions, and he caught a few of them off guard.
Or do you want me to start simpler?
It feels like, no, that's it, let's go, let's do this. What's coming to me is it feels like a paradox of what has always been accessible.
Yeah.
And it's like an ancient future in modern times. Of remembering actually that
the future is ancient, but it's also it's also in the past. The future is apparently also the past, but also not the past. This totally makes sense, right?
There has been an intelligence on this planet that's so vast for what we can access with our collective consciousness at the present moment that built ancient civilizations. And that awareness is being downloaded right now in real time. And if you look left, right, and center, you'll start seeing people going through awakening processes. Our brothers and sisters are purging everything that is not just only within their lifetime, but also in previous lifetimes and also within their mother.
So what she's essentially saying is that we're all part of a collective consciousness that built ancient civilizations. You know, we built the pyramids and all of that stuff. And we're all together trying to further empower humanity or something like that. It's just a pity that with Conscious Life Expo, we're just fucking regressing, apparently.
His mother, or the matriarchal line, or the patriarchal line, and it's coming out in many, many different ways. But however, you cannot have the download without the purge. or vice versa. And so the
Ooh, we're getting into a purge now. You know, I never really did like the concept of that movie. It just sounded so stupid to me.
purge has to be created and a safe space to be able to feel this. So we can't get enough safe spaces right now to allow ourselves to feel everything without judgment. And also recognizing that we are the medicine, and if we can allow ourselves to not judge our own personal process.
So we don't judge another person's personal process, and we don't judge our own personal process, then how can we interpret anything? How can we judge anything? How can we judge the difference between, say, a law-abiding citizen and a serial killer? How do we do that without judging people? You're playing an idealist fantasy here, which is impossible in the real world.
We don't judge another person's personal process, which means they can have a safe place to feel everything, which allows them to actually move through the dense emotions of trauma that has happened within our lineages, so that we can actually create new room for information and light. Ultimately, our DNA activating is just light entry.
DNA activation is another thing that was flagrant everywhere in Conscious Life Expo and in New Age philosophy in general. A DNA activation itself is a vague and ambiguous term, but it essentially means that there's junk DNA in your DNA. There's junk parts of code in your DNA, which is true, but it doesn't really do anything. It's just filler, kind of like when you get a burger with tasty meat and then you get the lettuce. That's what junk DNA is. The DNA is the lettuce of the junk DNA is the lettuce of the burger. If you're not a fan of lettuce, the lettuce I guess could be like amazeballs, but for most parts it's not. But I think I get my point here. It's just lettuce. It's just something that just gets added on. There's nothing magical or vibrational or anything about it. It's just part of the DNA.
Our DNA, but first we've got to actually clear through the grey matter that is trauma that has been passed on for millennia. And so, as you can see over the last couple of years, we have gone through a collective purge. Like, there are ayahuasca buckets everywhere. People be purging real deep. And it can be a little bit discombobulating of like where it's up and down. And you can see with the pandemic, there was a massive...
Ayahuasca, for anyone wondering, is a hallucinogen. It's kind of like peyote, but ayahuasca is just kind of like the plant du jour when it comes to hallucinogens. And there's New Age rituals that they partake in, where they'll be led by somebody who is a shaman of sorts, medicine man, something like that. They smoke the ayahuasca and then they proceed to have hallucinogen experiences. Some people travel as far as South America to undergo this experience. So, I mean, it's basically LSD. Why pay thousands of dollars for something when I guess you could just go to some drug dealer downtown and get LSD and get the same experience?
The collective shift that happened, our relationship with the government, to certain structures that are in place. Also an invitation for us to look within, because we actually couldn't be as distracted going outwards anymore. So this is an actual incredible opportunity for us to go through a collective purge very fast. But then also, of course, on the other side of that, you go through a collective purge, you also go through the exhale and the inhale. So we are also seeing people waking up left, right, and center, and it's happening in real time. And so it's about
in this case, waking up is basically the equivalent of converting to New Ageism.
Transcending beyond what we think is crazy, weird, wild, and wacky. And allowing ourselves to actually open ourselves up to recognizing that we are all multidimensional beings.
I thought we were all citizens of the Earth. How can we be multidimensional beings but only just be citizens of the Earth?
Multifaceted beings, and we're accessing more of our DNA in real time.
No, we are not accessing more of our DNA. We access everything that we need of our DNA and nothing more. We actually do access every part of our DNA. That's how we get to be who we are today. If you have a problem with your DNA, that's how you get things like Down syndrome and things like that.
Every single day. And when we surround ourselves with people like this at the Conscious Life Expo, we are reflecting back and forth what is possible.
Pooping back and forth forever, apparently.
If we don't know what is possible, how do we know what we're moving into? And so we need reference points of what is possible, while also recognizing as a reference point sitting on a panel right now, it's got nothing to do with us. We haven't got anything more figured out.
If it has nothing to do with us, then why are you even talking to us right now? It seems like it's got everything to do with us, and apparently nothing to do with us. Why are there so many contradictions with New Ageism? It's like Christianity. In fact, it exactly is Christianity.
And you don't. There is nothing that we have the answer to. It is all within you, and we are equals. We sit on a stage merely so that you can see us, but there is an important sort of quality that has to be integrated into the cells of our being so that we are transcending this pyramid model into
pyramid model. So now we're getting into pyramid schemes here? I mean, it would make sense given the kind of stuff that we're dealing with here, but I didn't think you'd make it so literal.
a circle of equals. This is everything.
I'm gonna kill the desktop audio a second while they're applauding.
Charlie, you must have a podcast. That was a lot.
You must have a podcast. And she does. So Elizabeth, you've been really ahead of the curve, for a while. So what did you access first to awaken your knowledge of your connection?
Yeah, good question. So, Blue, you amazing, summed it up, love it. And for me personally, it was really about questioning everything. I think that's like the first big stage of like ending up at a conference like this. Who are we? What are we doing? What's the whole point of this?
Questioning yourself is a good thing. We're skeptics. We should be questioning things. But what happens here is they ask weird questions and they get weird answers. And now that's why you have people like Blue, Anita Cyrene, and Lana Ray.
I think we all have to get through those big questions. And I think a part of asking those big questions is understanding that there's not always the right answer or a answer to those big questions. And so a big part of unfolding knowledge.
Well, if that's the case, then we can never truly know these answers because the answers are so vague and ambiguous that they could arguably mean anything.
Is being okay not knowing. And for me, that was a really big part of my own.
There is a relaxing idea of accepting that you don't know everything, but that doesn't mean you can't just invent shit and pull shit out of your ass like the Starseeds are literally doing right now. You need to go with what's evidence-based, not what's belief-based. If you do that, if you do the latter, then you're no better than the evangelical Christians.
Journey, especially being a true seeker, is letting go of knowing everything that there is to know in the universe.
So thus say the people that claim that they're starseeds and commune with aliens on a regular basis.
After I asked those big questions, opened this gateway to, there's got to be something more than what we've been programmed to believe. There's got to be something more than this. I went into actually past lives and other timelines. So if there's something more than this, and maybe I'm not just my 20-year-old or my 6.
Past life regression is another thing. I think that's probably a bit more common than everything that's happening in this particular panel right now. But for those of you who don't know, past life regression is a belief that you can meditate in a certain way and be able to go into a life that you supposedly once led and were reincarnated into. So that's what she's talking about here.
16-year-old self, then who have I been before? And so I think a big part of us accessing other aspects of our own knowledge and our own mission on planet Earth is accessing what we've done here before. And then the next step in my journey was an abduction. And oh my goodness.
Whoa. An abduction? Like, you were abducted? I hope you called the police, lady, or someone called the police or something, because that's illegal. And probably very dangerous. I think what she really meant to say was she claimed to have been abducted by aliens who probably showed her the meaning of life or some shit like that. Just another freaking thing that you get UFO conspiracists say all the time. Alan Silverstein, by the way, being one of the big UFO conspiracists.
All of a sudden, we don't just have past lifetimes on this planet, but aliens are real. And so then what are they doing here, and what's their purpose, and why are they interacting with us? And aren't human beings just an ant-like species on planet Earth? I mean, why are these higher, dimensional, more advanced beings utilizing their resources for us? And then I started going into...
I'm guessing the reason for that is, assuming that they exist, is because they think that we are really, really funny. Because we are. I imagine for some outsider with a sick, twisted sense of mind, we would be hilarious. Because they know how we get. A lot of us enjoy Schadenfreude, and I'm pretty certain that there's aliens out there that are watching us, that are watching with glee as we blow each other up. That's why they're watching us.
Trance-like states to access past lifetimes on other planets, in other dimensions, and really kind of seeing this bigger picture, and also understanding that everyone has a soul, no matter if you are a tree, a plant, an animal, a jaguar, a Syrian, an Octurian. You have a
that's a typo. That should be Syrian, as in Sirius from Harry Potter, or the dog star in the solar system, in the galaxy.
soul, and you're here to learn something in this incarnation. So it's this constant.
That's a big thing with New Agers, is the concept of incarnation, of reincarnating, is that you're supposed to learn lessons. It's kind of like a ripoff of Hinduism, but the point of reincarnating in Hinduism is to break free of the cycle of Hinduism and achieve and enter nirvana. For New Ageism, you're just given like a set of tasks, like you're being dumped onto the island in Fortnite and just told, do these things and then you're done, or some shit like that. I don't really know how it works.
Unfolding of knowledge and experience and information. And on this journey, once again, it really does come back to the surrendering of being okay, not knowing.
For someone who says that she doesn't know a lot, you sure claim to know a lot.
Because at the end of the day, the entire universe is split into polarity. You've got light and you've got dark. Light is everything. It's that one in the binary code.
Binary code is a creation of humanity. It is not universal. This is the kind of bullshit Napoleon was talking about with the 010 bullshit. Apparently now it's a code to escape the Matrix, when binary code wasn't a thing until relatively history with the advent of the computer.
And dark is nothing at all. And if you can be okay with the all and the nothing, then and only then can you master this reality and any reality you wind up in.
Yeah. Thank you.
A whole bunch of fluff and everybody applauds. Kill it for y'all.
We've grown up in a society.
Yeah, I'm killing the desktop audio, by the way, just because I don't want to blow out your eardrums with all of the clapping and the hooting and the hollering.
Also, that's where psychology is done as a service, but it's done as a disservice in trusting our own experience. So if we've had experiences, we have to trust and believe that that's true for us, and not think about what the mainstream is saying. So we have people.
Yes, because apparently everything that the mainstream says is wrong and bullshit because reasons. We should instead be looking to crackpots such as Alan Silverstein instead, who can lead us the way into enlightenment with whatever the fuck they've pulled out of their ass.
Like Charlene there, who really opened up.
He screwed up her name again.
Not really good with names. They're just, anyway, so how are you able to trust your intuition?
On that note.
On that note, yes.
The joy code. Laughter alleviates tension.
Good.
It clears and it activates our DNA. So that's the first. If I could say anything today, if many of the multidimensional beings and star friends, if it's any code that is of the utmost importance, it is that joy. We're beings here that have the technology of spirit, ancient future technology, and we have the ability to choose our frequency.
The spirit of ancient future technology? Okay. Ancient future technology. How? How do you do that? How do you come up with that? Ancient future technology? You literally just contradicted yourself. Like where are we getting at with this? It's technology that's somehow from the future and then from the past? This is kind of like the Fringe episode where they were like 100 years, like 40 odd years into the future or whatever, and they had to kick back this technology machine that they invented all the way into prehistory, and it just created the whole clusterfuck of a paradox and all that stuff. Is that kind of what's going on here? Because that's the only freaking way that this makes sense to me. The distant past, the ancient future. Yes, there we go. The ancient future. The future is ancient to us now, apparently. I don't know how, but I guess the laws of physics completely got disrupted in that hotel conference room.
Wave And then you have the amplitude of the wave, which is the amount of gusto, spiritual gusto you're giving to something. It's Cher Jolene, by the way.
Okay, thank you, Cher.
But
I'll just call you Cher.
choosing the joy, right? Immediately, like that laughter, it's just hilarious, it's funny. But we could all just laugh together for like 5 seconds. Ready? 1.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and lower the volume for this one because this is where everybody pretends to laugh like it's laughing yoga.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you. And Anita.
And now we're back with Stargirl, or Anita.
Hi. How did you know you were a starseed? How did that awaken in you?
Just always been really strange, and then the year I found out I had psychic abilities, I was doing research on. Thank you. I was doing research on starseeds, and I really resonated with the Lyrian starseeds. But I'm actually open to learning what everyone else has to say.
So that's the Illyrian starseeds, one of the other starseeds out there. Again, there's Arcturian starseeds, Syrian starseeds, Pleiadian starseeds. Whatever freaking star system there is, there's apparently a name for it. Even though Pleiades and Arcturus are not alien names, but human names. So how these aliens somehow became tribes based off human names are, again, just an absolute total mystery to me.
Because I feel like everyone here has like a lot of wisdom.
Yes, but how were you strange? I'm just curious. We're all strange. If you're in this room, you've been strange.
I almost wanted to yell out, "We're all fucking strange here," but I didn't.
Just you know, not being able to fit in with my peers and not just never, even like when I was trying, just being really peculiar.
You know, and a lot of sympathy goes to me on this one. I feel like a lot of what brings the average person to the New Age community and to the Starseed community is that they're outcasts. They're outcasts. They're offbeats. They're misfits. They're people that don't really fit in that well. And that could be for a number of reasons. Maybe they didn't really have a lot of good like social skills trainings because their parents weren't good at it, or maybe they have a problem such as they were on the spectrum or they have ADHD. But in those kinds of cases, you need to get help from licensed, credentialed, trained professionals, not just go looking around on the internet and finding a whole bunch of people who also likely didn't get the mental help that they needed and now just think that they're alien starseeds because they seem so alien from everybody else. I think that's probably one of the reasons why it seemed so appealing to me. So in a way, it's kind of I can kind of sympathize with them in that matter.
Not in like a cool way, just like a strange way. And it all made sense when I realized that my life purpose was my strangeness really tied into that. So now I'm not as sad about it because it turns out I'm just meant to be in the ether, so it's fine.
Well, I want to ask, how many people in this room thought they were strange growing up? Look.
Literally everybody raised their hand, including me.
Look at that.
We're all strange here.
Okay, I'm switching my brain to the side. Sarah, hi. Talk about the features of Starseed abilities. You know, like what do you tune into on this other level when you're working with people and seeing that aspect of their soul?
So the ETs have expressed to me that people, they create, we're all creators, and every thought.
Well, no shit, we're all creators. We create all sorts of things every day. We create reports, we create videos, we create live streams such as this one, or we create massive shits that we take every day. It just depends on what you, if you put it out to that kind of a wide net, then yeah, we create a whole bunch of crap.
Creates images and creates emotions, and what's wrong with the planet right now is that we have created a lot of negative thoughts and negative emotions.
No, you don't say. Maybe because people are saying crazy shit like what's coming out of your mouth right now?
We have abilities to go delete that out of our system, just like a computer. When you press delete, you can delete that.
Wow. We can just delete bad thoughts? Wow. Like, I'm cured. I can delete all the trauma that I've incurred in my life. It just magically snap my button and I delete all the trauma. It totally works, right? No, it doesn't freaking work that way. But they don't want you to think like that. They want you to think that it's just some magical thing that you can do and the trauma will just magically go away. And if it doesn't go away, then it's your fucking fault.
So they have expressed to me that each organ in the body, each of these cells, they're alive and they feel and they hold these energies. So we must speak to ourselves and say, delete these negative images. Then we must bring in positive images and imprint those images.
I hate this so much. This whole thing where you have to, I think one person said it years ago, back when I was like starting to question this shit. Like, they said that you have to drain out all the negativity and fill it up with positivity. And now I'm slowly realizing that's basically the equivalent of saying that you wanted to take a bath and you got in a bath and you realized the bath was too cold. So you decided instead to drain all of the cold water out, all the water out, and then completely fill your bathtub up with hot water. That's the logic that they're talking about here. They want all of the negativity gone and replace it with all of the positivity and all of the delusion and idealism that comes with it. And it's like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Within us. So they were showing me, and I see them around people. When I'm out and walking around, I see these imprints all around them. And then I see those imprints manifesting into thoughts and negative thoughts. So once you clear the energy field of these, what I call negative image imprints, and we're passing them around, by the way. There's a lot of fair ones in the world right now, and everyone's passing these around like a virus. In fact, the ET said, you know, there's a lot of triggering things in the world right now. The virus that we just had, COVID, a lot of fear and paranoia, and it's coming from all of these negative image imprints that we're passing to each other. So they also showed me that we can heal each.
So now we have to spread. So positivity spreads like a virus. Then explain to me why I don't have sunshine blowing out of my ass from all of the people I've dealt with in my life who were toxic positivity advocates. I think the correct answer is that you really don't know what you're fucking talking about here.
By deleting this out of our systems and then projecting positive image imprints within ourselves, within our organs, and to others. And even to go further than that, they also told me to heal pollution, we can completely gather.
Yes, we can heal pollution by, oh no, this is how you're going to do it. Oh God, this is going to be bad.
Together around the oceans, or not even on the oceans.
And I'm pretty certain this is Sarah talking, by the way.
And we can start to channel in rainbow light. We can start to transmute the pollution energy, which is a...
Yes, that's all it takes, everybody. So we need to get all of the New Agers. We need to get all of the Starseeds to Los Angeles the next time it's smoggy as all hell here, because it almost always is. Just get them to go, I guess, like maybe you form a huge ass circle all across encircling downtown LA, and we just use their rainbow light to transmute the smog and transform it into beautiful, crystal clear, blue sky happiness. That totally is going to work, right? Yeah, I know. Is this truly what they mean by Starseed technology? Because if this is the case, then then they could not be absolutely further wrong. They have absolutely no understanding of how pollution works, how pollution cleanup works, and generally how the laws of physics work.
Which is a dense energy. We can start to pollute, we can start to transmute that pollution by channeling in these beautiful images. And when you send beautiful images to another person, if they're sad or depressed, that's going to completely shift them.
Wow, thank you, Sarah. I'm cured. All I need are like beautiful images that are going to be projected into my head, and my depression will be cured. My binge eating will be cured. My autism will be cured, and my ADHD too. All we need are just to have the aliens, I don't know, fart these magical images into my head, and it's going to be a literal panacea that does everything from cure AIDS to change my underwear. It doesn't work that way, and these people are absolutely frickin' deluded. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and call it there. We're going to do part one. We have gotten about 22 minutes into this Starseed panel, and we've got another hour and 30 minutes to go of the Starseed panel. So what I am going to do is, I didn't think we got a lot of people here tonight, but that's okay, because I'm still trying to figure out how to do YouTube. So next week, next Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, you will not see me on Twitch. You will see me here because, unlike some streamers, I don't want to risk violating TOS. So check me out here on YouTube at 6:30 for part 2 of the Starseed panel, and we'll see what the hell else they're going to get into next. Thank you so much for coming. I wish you all a great night. This would normally be the point where we would raid somebody, but apparently on YouTube you can't really raid anybody, so this is where we're going to say goodbye. Have a good night, and Seek Semper Farad, everybody.